Today's interview is a pretty special one because we have Jay Cashett, who is actually a professional tennis handicapper. And he started arbitrage betting with OddsJam about 2 months ago, and he's up about 12K in the last 50, 60 days or so. There's a funny story with him because he was arbitrage betting 2 years ago without even knowing that was what it was. He had this theory with the odds from his betting experience, and now he's back at it again, and here's his story.
Yeah, you can do any sport. You don't even need to have a big bankroll. You could start with $20, and you put 10 on each side, and they're both plus money. You're gonna take home, if it's plus, you're gonna profit money in the long run, and just build the bankroll. So I started betting like anyone else, early stages of college, and I was a degenerate just like anyone else was. Always felt like I was good at the stuff. It's just the lack of discipline.
And how are you, Jay Cashett? Is that how you want to be called? Yeah, we'll just call you that. Keep you anonymous if you want.
Yeah, that's probably best for now, at least.
Yeah. So cool, man. So I found you. I saw that you were killing it sports betting. It's always nice to see the people that are actually doing this correctly.
hmm
Bringing you on here, see what you can share with the world. People from looking from the outside, very skeptical if sports betting is actually profitable because I know
Yeah,
it's a very, very, very hard and rare thing to do and be doing. As
yeah,
I've seen, as I've discovered, even with people that you kind of explain how this should be really done, still
right.
don't do it properly. So yeah, what's the story behind it? How'd you get into all of this? Because I know you're killing it in tennis, and you've been using OddsJam recently to arbitrage
Yep.
bet. So tell us how all of this came about in your life, bro.
Yeah, so I started betting like anyone else, early stages of college, and I was a degenerate just like anyone else was. Always felt like I was good at the stuff. It's just the lack of discipline um, always would kill me. So betting off and on for many, many years, and then in 2019 started my first full-time job, and that's when I actually started betting on tennis. And then a few years later, so in 2022, I quit my said full-time job because I realized that from my actual picks on betting on tennis, like I can do this as my full-time job, and started my own VIP thing, which has been solid. But anyway, I actually started arbitraging on my own back in 2022 as well, which is actually what um, was able to build up my bankroll to do what I do now for a living. So I just one day I have two monitors, and I was noticed some discrepancies in first half college hoops. And I started figuring out, I didn't even know what it was called, the arbitrage betting at the time. I just was playing both sides of the line live, at like timeouts and stuff, and putting as much money on it as I could. So that
So that
is
was by
what kind of
accident. That
yeah,
was
yeah, essentially,
you.
I just kinda pulled it up
Makes
on both
sense.
screens and figured it out. It was kinda crazy, and, thankfully I did because, like I said, it's what built my bankroll up to allow me to do this, full time. So, been betting on tennis for a living now for about 3 years, and then, yeah, last month at the start of July is when I started OddsJam, and, I got the hunger back for arbitrage betting, and obviously the tools make it so easy to find and do and be profitable from. So yeah.
So sweet, man. That's awesome. This is something I want to get into because you're still professionally betting and handicapping tennis on your own. I'm guessing you have your own models, your own research.
hmm
But arbitrage betting with OddsJam, anybody can do it, right? You don't have to
Right.
be a pro tennis player.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, you can do any sport. You don't even need to have a big bankroll. You could start with $20, and you put 10 on each side, and they're both plus money. You're gonna take home, if it's plus, you're gonna profit money in the long run, and just build the bankroll. That's what, like, a lot of people see my slips when I have been arbitraging, and they're like, how do you get that much money down on banned? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get banned eventually too. So I'm just getting as much down as I can now, but it doesn't matter the bet size. Like, obviously, I'll still do arbitrages where I only win $9 because why not? Build the bankroll. So
yeah. How was July going? How did July go for you?
July was great. Let's see here. see if I can get back to July. So I profited 4,500 in July for my first month with arbitrage. I did a little bit of the EV betting, but not a whole lot. It was probably 98% of it was arbitrage betting. So, and that's only, let's see, 2, 3, 6. It's only like 19 days worth of arbitrage bets. Like I didn't even
Wow.
have like a ton of time to do it daily, just because it can be tough. I'm a golfer, so I play a lot of golf, and if I'm out on the golf course, I'll
Nice.
try to get them because you get FOMO when you get the arbitrage alerts. But so yeah, in like 19 days, I made 4,500 off arbitrage my first month.
Nice. And that was just random times. You didn't really have a set schedule where it's like, I'm gonna do
Nope.
this during. And what was that, live or pregame?
Mostly pregame. I don't think
Okay.
I caught any lives in July. I just started catching lives at the end of August here.
Okay. And how was August? So how's your
Yeah,
August?
so August was phenomenal. It had started slow, and again, I wasn't like there every day to just like do it,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it, do it. But started relatively slow. Had a few couple $100 days, some $23 days. Nothing crazy, and then it really picked up the back half. I had a $416 day, another one of those, and then the last 4 days was 1,200, 2K, 1,500, and 800. So I ended up profiting 8,300 in August on arbitrage betting, and again, it was 95% was arbitrage.
I think I
Where
lost you there for a second.
yeah, I
So yeah. So finish. What was the last couple days like?
yeah. So then the last 4 days was $1,200, $2,000, 1,500, and 800. So I ended up netting 8,300 on the month of
Wow.
August, and 98% of that was arbitrage
So
betting.
that's 12K basically in the first 2 months with
Yep.
OddsJam. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So
It was
what's what
phenomenal.
did something else click, or was there just more arbs available, or did something change your volume? What clicked or what switched up?
Yeah, so at the end of the month, there was a big one where Caesars actually like flipped the line. So I got plus 155, plus 158, and it was on a run line in baseball. And those are ones that I know that you can get a lot more money down on generally. Big sport, big market. So I was able to get like, yeah, I mean, I profited just 1,200 just off that one alone.
Yeah.
So put a few thousand on each side, and obviously didn't have to sweat. Um, and then Thursday, the 29th, looks like I just had a bunch of different sports, but then there was some college football live stuff that I got on. That this is when I started to catch the lives. Just football. Well, tennis is almost impossible to catch the live arbitrages. Even baseball can be tough, but football with the timeouts and stoppages and stuff, I feel like it's much easier. Same thing with
Yeah.
college hoops, NBA. So I was getting some live arbitrages these last 4 days of the month, which is what was huge for me because same thing with Friday. Um, was a huge day. Some baseball, but a lot of college football as well.
Okay, okay. So yeah, basically new leagues opened up. It's a lot easier during the stoppages. So what is your process like when you're arbing? Are you hitting the minus lines first or to see like if it goes through before you hit the other one, or you're sending them both at the same time? How
Yeah,
does
so that's actually a good question, just because this is something that generally when I try to teach people, if I have people DM me, or even in the Seva Discord, I generally try to explain it. The key is figuring out which line is messed up. So when you get your notification, you click into it. Most of the books are going to have similar numbers. So let's say minus 115, minus 112, minus 110, and then there'll be one that sticks out like a sore thumb that's plus 200. Obviously, that's the one that's messed up. So I just quick get to that sports book as fast as I can. If I have a limit there, I put down my max. If I don't, I just try to get as much as I can. Now, you do have to be careful because, like for example, Fliff, the max you can put's $500. So I know that in my head. So if Fliff is the other side of it, I can't
okay?
put 2,000 on the one that's messed up because I won't be able to put enough on that. So there is some thinking going on, but once you get idea of it down, it becomes second nature. But yeah, always when you see one stick out like a sore thumb, you got to get to that sports book first to get that one down. And a lot of times, if it's a big market, they'll offer a cash out where you sometimes can cash out for more than what you'll make on the ARB. So like sometimes I'll just sit there if I know that like, oh, this line was way off, sit there and like wait 30 minutes and there might be a cash out for $400, in
Okay.
profit. So
Without
there is
hitting
always
without
huh?
hitting the other side, just leaving
Yeah,
that open.
right.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Interesting. Actually, I think that's the first time I hear that. That's actually a pretty good strategy. If the plus line is way off, right? I mean, it's usually those plus lines,
Yeah.
and just wait for a cash out because that was crazy EV basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that's really good. Okay. Okay. So now it's a little bit more fun, right? Now that you got it's really adrenaline when you're arbing now after the initial learning period, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's like FOMO. You get the fear of missing out anytime you get a notification, and you're getting 90 plus notifications a day. And every single time it's like I'm checking, I feel a notification, I'm like ready to go.
What are your filters like for those notifications? What are you looking for usually?
Yeah, so the filters for arbitrage for me, I think I just have it set to 4%. I think 3.5% and higher. And
Mm.
then I just have my sports book selected, which I don't even use that many right now.
What do you use?
Um,
What are you using right now?
right now I'm using FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars, MyBookie, Fliff, BetOnline, and I feel like I'm missing
That's a
one,
good
but
amount.
maybe. Yeah, I personally would like to have more,
Yeah,
but
that'd be the
I've been
dream.
extremely limited on a couple of them. I'm working on getting a Sugar House account so that I can get because they have Sugar House, Bet Rivers, and Bet Parks all share
Omri.
the same thing. So I've already gotten through Bet Rivers and gotten limited heavy, and gotten through Bet Parks limited heavy. So now
Yeah,
I'm gonna make Sugar House as well.
yeah. Combi is their odds provider. That's what they're called.
Gotcha.
They share. They're pretty big in the whole world actually.
Yeah.
Combi is
Yeah.
the provider for a lot of books and a
Gotcha.
lot of. I'm in Colombia right now, and there's about
Hmm.
3 books here that use Combi.
Wow.
Um,
Huh. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy. But yeah, so 3.5% is what I do for arbitrage, and I just select my books. I don't really dumb it down any more than that. The reason I also have a filter for 4% and 5%. Sometimes I'll just flick those on instead, just because in case the lines change just a little bit, you can still make, like if it goes from 5% to 3%, you can still make some money there. So that's why I do that.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, those are some good pointers there. I'm gonna get into a little bit of the personal questions because I know a lot of people from the outside are looking at this and they're
Hmm.
like, "What? Making money sports betting?" So, what when you explain this to people, friends, family, like this is what I do. I gamble, right? That's
Yeah,
what they think, quote unquote.
right.
What are those responses like, or are they accepted now? Like you're close people, right?
Yeah. It's always, well, generationally is, or that's not the word. Well, yeah, generation to generation is, you get different responses, because most people, I'm 27, most people my age or roughly younger, little older, whatever, they're like, oh, that's sweet, blah blah blah, because they generally gamble.
Yeah.
Middle-aged people like my parents, for example, obviously weren't thrilled when I quit my job and started doing this full time.
What were you
um,
working? What was your job before?
I was the general manager at a golf course, so
Okay, okay.
pretty solid job. So I understood why they weren't necessarily the most happy, but they knew that it's like I moved out of their house. There's nothing they can do, and now for the most part they accept it. Like for example, my dad's a huge tennis fan. He loves watching tennis and talking tennis with me now ever since I started this. So it is cool in that sense. And then the older generation, they just generally don't get it, don't even understand how to communicate about it, like my grandpa and stuff. But yeah, I mean, everyone has an opinion, and generally the opinion with sports betting isn't a good one. So I always try to, if I'm the one in the conversation explaining what I do for a living, I try to put it in terms that they understand. That way they know it's not just like a complete gamble that
Yeah.
I'm doing. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Sweet. So playing golf. So I think the cool thing about this is that you can freely choose when to play golf, when to do your
Yeah.
thing. I'm guessing, well, 2 years. I'm guessing you definitely broke the 100K profit margin yet, or have you not? Six figures in
Uh,
profits yet? Almost.
I have, yes, from my tennis stuff, but obviously not yet
Yeah.
with OddsJam since I only started in July. But yeah, there's been
Nice.
the last 2 years, yes.
Nice. So you're hitting. Okay. Okay. So you're hitting these bets, the arbs, in the books you've had hitting. Betting, handicapping your own tennis. So you're definitely your limits will last a long time because you were. I'm guessing if you're handicapping, you're not necessarily beating CLV a lot. You're just kind of picking winning bets, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah. Generally not beating the CLV too
That's good.
much. I mean, there's sometimes where I know that I'm going to beat it, like just with a bad opening line. But yeah, it doesn't happen too often. So it is nice in that aspect. And I have a lot of just like history on the sports books. Like I said, like in college, fresh out of college, like I still wasn't the most disciplined sports bettor until I
Yeah.
started doing it full time. So like I do have a lot of fluctuation in those years where the sports books are like, oh, maybe he'll lose again, but little do they know I'm arbitraging and and doing this full time. So
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice. How'd you find OddsJam? So I'm
um
guessing.
That's a great question. I think it was my little brother, actually. I think he must have, because he knew that I was arbitrage betting 2 years ago in 2022. And then I stopped for a while just because I think DraftKings, like, limited, banned me, whatever. And that was who I was doing the college hoops arbitrages through. And live arbitrages, I should say. So my brother knew about that, and then he must have stumbled across either Arb Father or Arb Thief on Twitter, told me
Uh,
about him. So then I looked him up, spoke to Arb Father a little bit, uh, and then I did my free trial. And then I reached out to the guys at OddsJam just to see if there was any chance of a partnership just because of my Twitter account. So that's how that came about.
nice. They're really cool to work with.
Oh yeah,
You're like, "Oh,
absolutely
yeah,
great.
hop on."
Yeah,
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 yeah.
great people for sure.
Yeah, that's what happened with me when I was first getting into actually profitable sports betting 2 years ago almost. I
Hmm.
just messaged them, I was like, "Hey, I make content, let's work." And they're like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
hop on. Here's the account. Start pushing." I was like, "Yeah,
that's
let's go."
awesome. Yeah, that's sweet.
Um, so yeah, I think, yeah, kinda just I like to make these calls quick because my goal is to just find people that are using OddsJam correctly, that are having success,
Hmm.
just because, people from the outside might be a little skeptical if there's just videos on their YouTube channel that's, like, the same faces. Obviously, everything looks good, but if we just
Right.
keep bringing in new faces, new perspectives, new stories, like, we
Yeah.
could, help people make money sports betting with OddsJam and get them started and just 12K in 2 months. Like
Yeah.
that's good money
Absolutely.
actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if it's just like it was like a part-time thing. You were like not even fully like 10 hours a
Right.
day
Right.
like on it. Um yeah. Any final words you want to tell the people like that are looking from the outside?
Yeah. I
Especially now
mean,
that the season's starting, high season.
right. Right. Yeah. Obviously, it's normal for people to be skeptical when they see people doing the numbers. I mean, not the numbers that I'm doing are great. Obviously, I feel great about them. But like the numbers that Alex and Arbfather and Arbthief have done for a long time now, it's easy to be skeptical, especially in the world that we live in of sports betting, where 98% of social media is degenerate gamblers. So then they see guys that are saying they're up $100,000 in a few months, whatever it is, and they're like, "That's not possible." They're just trying to make money off of and it's just until they try it, they aren't gonna learn how valuable it is because it literally will pay for itself in the blink of an eye. And the people that I know that have started it, through my like link that I've sent out on social media and in my Discord and stuff, my personal Discord and stuff. They've all made money and love it. Like one of my buddies who's been a big sports bettor and he tails my tennis picks. He was like, they crushed this app, the OddsJam app. It's perfect, and he's made a good bit, a few thousand off of it in his first few weeks. So yeah, it's just it's normal to be skeptical, but I definitely employ everyone to at least give it a try, whether it's a trial or not. Obviously, the more
Yeah.
time you have on your hands, you're gonna make more money.
Yeah.
But you can also do it on the side. Like even if you have
Yeah.
an easy job where you work from home, you could do it so easily on the
Yeah.
side.
Yep. Especially if you have a history with the books of donating money.
Yeah,
Like not
absolutely.
like those are the golden accounts that will make a
Yep.
lot more money than just fresh accounts coming in and
Yep.
just beating them instantly. So if you have been a losing sports bettor donating to the books for years, this is literally a gold mine. If you're all the way up until this video listening to this, like hop on and
Yeah.
learn everything. It's all free on YouTube
Yep.
and join. Join us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Be profitable.
It's it. Yeah, just the ways of making money nowadays are just so different. Like this is all kind of new age, new ways
Yeah.
of making things.
Absolutely.
So even if you're like in your 50s or 40s or 60s, like come on. But
Yeah.
if you're young, like you just turned 18, turned 21, even better. This is just a simple thing to understand. Yeah, kind of want to end
Absolutely.
it with that. Thank you for
Yeah.
your time, man. I really appreciate it.
No
And yeah,
problem.
I'll talk to you about your tennis stuff. That sounds really interesting. Because it's always good to bring in more winning systems into your strategy or portfolio.
Yep.
So yeah. Also, if you want to check it out, I'll link all the Twitter stuff for him. If you want to reach out to Jay Cash, talk about tennis stuff, talk about OddsJam stuff. And yeah, thank you
Yep. My
guys.
DMs are always open.
All right. Peace out.